you obviously, you referred to it before, you started a venture. I mean, really pretty soon after you left school, right? What made you confident that you had the skills to start a new venture? I mean, and that was in an area you knew nothing about. I mean, deciding to get involved with starting a toy design company, that's pretty amazing. What made you confident that you had the skills, could pull together the right people and the resources to make that happen?
Well, I've been starting companies my whole life. It started when I was a little kid. I started a dog walking company when I was about 3, and I stopped doing that when they passed the pooper scooper law. But you know, it kind of went on and on from there. And along the way, I worked at HP and SRI and some bigger companies. But after business school, I was totally committed to working for a startup. And I went to work for a company called Metcal that had a proprietary heating technology. And I developed soldering systems, plastic pipe couplings, giant food service equipment, all of which I had zero interest in. And I learned through that experience that I could develop any products, raise money for anything, and sell things to anyone. Because I was spending time with guys in the field and big ditches that put plastic pipes together, and I spent a lot of time at McDonald's headquarters selling giant griddles when I'd been a vegetarian for 16 years. So it was a little odd. After that experience, I realized I really wanted to work on something that I was entirely passionate about. And because I'd started a bunch of things, I thought I could do it. But also, I had a great group of advisors that I could call upon. And if I had any questions, I knew they would be right there. Professors I had at business school, people I'd worked with along the way. And then I also found a great partner who I thought had truly complementary skills. And I thought the two of us together could attract great people and build a great company.
That's great. I love the fact that you worked somewhere that you didn't like and you weren't passionate about, and that taught you that you could sell anything to anyone. So maybe it's a good idea to go do something that you're not excited about to hone your skills so that when you're doing something you're passionate about, you can draw on all those experiences. I don't know.
No, you know, actually it's an interesting point. I have about 8 companies in my portfolio now, and you know, one's a gourmet food company, one's an infrastructure company for moving wine around the United States. It's sort of the reincarnation of Wine Shopper. And people always hear particularly about those 2 companies and say, oh, wow, great. But we eat ramen noodles in my house and we don't drink wine. I have absolutely no interest actually in those products. But you know, I really looked at it carefully and analytically and found that there were great companies and they really served a need. And I actually feel that often when people focus on themselves, you know, and what they need, that does a disservice, because that's really, you're not really looking at the market from a very objective perspective. So when I looked at Metcal, it's not that I didn't like it, it's that I had no interest in those things, but all I really wanted to do was bring on the team, develop the products, and raise the money. And it didn't really matter what it was. And frankly, to this day, you know, I would say for the most part, the companies that are in my portfolio, I don't really have an interest per se in case management, but Case Central is one of my favorite companies. But it just really fills an important need in the market.